Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The immediate proximity of someone or something. She blushed in his presence. Dignified manner or conduct. An invisible spiritual being felt to be nearby. The act of being present. The impression that something is present. He felt the presence of an evil force. The state of being present, current existence. He tested for the presence of radon. The side that is forward or prominent. A person used as a cover for some questionable activity. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He led the National Liberation Front. Be oriented in a certain direction, often with respect to another reference point, be opposite to. The immediate proximity of someone or something. He was well behaved in front of company. Confront bodily. The line along which opposing armies face each other. A sphere of activity involving effort. The Japanese were active last week on the diplomatic front. Meteorology, the atmospheric phenomenon created at the boundary between two different air masses. Relating to or located in the front. The front lines. The outward appearance of a person. He put up a bold front. The part of something that is nearest to the normal viewer. He walked to the front of the stage. The side that is seen or that goes first. Characteristic way of bearing one's body. The direction or path along which something moves or along which it lies. Dignified manner or conduct. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. A rotating support placed between moving parts to allow them to move easily. Of a structural member, withstanding a weight or strain. Relevant relation or interconnection. Those issues have no bearing on our situation. Dignified manner or conduct. Dignified manner or conduct. A Gestalt principle of organization holding that, other things being equal, objects or events that are near to one another, in space or time, are perceived as belonging together as a unit. The property of being close together. The region close around a person or thing. A way of acting or behaving. A way of acting or behaving. How something is done or how it happens. Her dignified manner. A kind. What manner of man are you? The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. Any incorporeal supernatural being that can become visible, or audible, to human beings. Infuse with spirit. The company spirited him up. Animation and energy in action or expression. The state of a person's emotions, especially with regard to pleasure or dejection. He was in good spirits. An inclination or tendency of a certain kind. The intended meaning of a communication. A fundamental emotional and activating principle determining one's character. The vital principle or animating force within living things. Any incorporeal supernatural being that can become visible, or audible, to human beings. The act of being present, at a meeting or event, etc. The frequency with which a person is present. A student's attendance is an important factor in her grade. The number of people that are present. Attendance was up by 50%. The process whereby a person concentrates on some features of the environment to the relative exclusion of others. The act of being present, at a meeting or event, etc. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. It strengthened my belief in his sincerity. Any cognitive content held as true. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. An intuitive understanding of something. He had a great feeling for music. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. What are your feelings about the crisis? The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. The surface had a greasy feeling. A physical sensation that you experience. He had a queasy feeling. The experiencing of affective and emotional states. She had a feeling of euphoria. The reason for a court's judgment, as opposed to the decision itself. The legal document stating the reasons for a judicial decision. Opinions are usually written by a single judge. A personal belief or judgment that is not founded on proof or certainty. My opinion differs from yours. A message expressing a belief about something. The expression of a belief that is held with confidence but not substantiated by positive knowledge or proof. His opinions appeared frequently on the editorial page. A belief or sentiment shared by most people. The voice of the people. He asked for a poll of public opinion. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. An odd or fanciful or capricious idea. The theatrical notion of disguise is associated with disaster in his stories. A general inclusive concept. Usually plural, small personal articles or clothing or sewing items. Buttons and needles or notions. A concavity in a surface produced by pressing. He left the impression of his fingers in the soft mud. A symbol that is the result of printing or engraving. An outward appearance. He made a good impression. A clear and telling mental image. The events left a permanent impression in his mind. All the copies of a work printed at one time. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. His impression of her was favorable. An impressionistic portrayal of a person. He did a funny impression of a politician. Dentistry, an imprint of the teeth and gums in wax or plaster. The dentist took an impression for use in preparing an inlay. The act of pressing one thing on or into the surface of another. He watched the impression of the seal on the hot wax. The state or fact of existing. A point of view gradually coming into being. A living thing that has, or can develop, the ability to act or function independently. The state or fact of existing. The state or fact of existing. He appeared on the face of the earth one day. The state or fact of existing. Laws in existence for centuries. Everything that exists anywhere. The biggest tree in existence. Formality in bearing and appearance. The quality of being worthy of esteem or respect. It was beneath his dignity to cheat. Formality in bearing and appearance. He behaved with great dignity. High office or rank or station. He respected the dignity of the emissaries. Overbearing pride evidenced by a superior manner toward inferiors. Formality in bearing and appearance. The state of being everywhere at once, or seeming to be everywhere at once. The state of being within or not going beyond a given domain. The state of being here in this place. A spy employed to follow someone and report their movements. An indication that something has been present. Something existing in perception only. Cast a shadow over. Make appear small by comparison. An unilluminated area. A dominating and pervasive presence. He received little recognition working in the shadow of his father. An inseparable companion. The poor child was his mother's shadow. A premonition of something adverse. A shadow over his happiness. Follow, usually without the person's knowledge. The police are shadowing her. Refuge from danger or observation. He felt secure in his father's shadow. Shade within clear boundaries. Real existence. Things are really the recapture the there-ness of them. The state of being there, not here in position. The state of existing and being localized in space. The state of being everywhere at once, or seeming to be everywhere at once.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.